Hey everyone, it's Pat from Pat Music. So we're checking out a top 5 video, and I haven't done a video like this in a while, so I'm very excited about it. I love these top 5 videos. They always sort of seem to help the most amount of people. Now, speaking of people, the only reason this video is possible is because someone took the time to comment and leave something that they're interested in learning in the description below. Someone's just written a comment, there's something that they want help with and that they want to get better at. And the best thing is, I guarantee if you're thinking it, or if there's something that you want to get better at, there's other people all around the world that want to get better at that same thing. So if you're brave enough, leave a comment below. Otherwise, send me a message up on Instagram or Facebook and I can make a video for you. That's how we work here. But we're diving into 5 different ideas to strengthen this pinky. Sometimes the bane of all guitarist existence, but I can show you these top 5 ideas that you can put into all of your playing. Every time you pick up the guitar, you can add these in. They're fun and they're easy. And the best thing is, at the end of the video, there's this solo sort of backing track, so you can practice all of these techniques in the one video. Don't have to go up to another website, don't have to sign anything. It's all here. So let's dive in. Idea number 1. So let's say you've been playing for a little while and you might know a C major chord. Otherwise, here's how to play it. Now your pinky is not actually being used, so try, this is idea number 1, try and use your pinky on every chord that you know. So whether you're playing a song, writing a song, or just practicing chords, try and involve that pinky. So in this example, we've got C major. Try and put your pinky so that your pinky is on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So it goes from this sound to this sound. Try and move your pinky up a string. Up a string again. Up a string again. What about all the way up so it's on the 3rd fret of the 6th string? So the idea is really not to think too much and not to get, lose your mind about sort of the theory involved. It's just to practice those chords that you're already playing and add in your pinky so it can help develop strength, change those chords, and maybe you'll come up with some interesting ideas. Like if you've got a D chord, try and add your pinky to the 3rd fret on the 1st string again, and that's a really nice sus chord. You can practice putting it on and taking it off. Just like that Beatles song. Or you can try with a G chord, move your 3rd finger up a string and use your pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Just a bit of a fuller, richer G. Or maybe even A minor. Put your pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Then take it off. Put it on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Move it up. Move it up. Move it up. Move it up. Again, you can make it as hard as you want, but by practicing this way, you're already practicing your chords. May as well dovetail, use some common sense, practice 2 things at once. That was idea number 1, idea number 2. Idea number 2. So I'm sure you've seen different practice ideas like this before, where you're just playing one fret after the other. So that was frets 5, 6, 7, 8, drop down, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, blah, 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 blah. Okay? It's all right as a technique practice, but it's pretty mindless and it's not very musical. So what I would suggest is just think, all right, this idea is not going to be too musical. Idea number 2, it's not very musical, but it's good for building strength. What I would try and do is have your 1st finger sort of anchored or holding on to that 5th fret on the 6th string. Then use your pinky on the 8th fret, and you want to hammer on with the pinky, so you're only picking once, but you're hammering on like a hammer. Once you can do that comfortably on all strings, try and then pull off. So what a pull off is, you've still got your 1st finger anchored on the 5th fret, this time it's the 1st string. Then I want you to put your pinky down on the 8th fret of the 1st string, and then play the note, and then pull your pinky off so it still lets the string ring out to where you're holding it on the 5th fret. Do it on all strings. And then when you can do that, combine the 2, hammer on, then pull off. sense? That would be another way you can strengthen your pinky. Now, if you want to sort of practice your finger strength, you could even stretch out a little bit so your pinky is all the way on the 9th fret. Or you can do the 8th fret and then the 9th fret. That sort of thing. That is idea number 2. Great job. Idea number 3. Now, this is all about trying to put these techniques into use and trying to make these ideas more musical than just these sort of pinky strength, exercises. Imagine like a pinky in a gym, that sort of stuff. You want it to be musical. So I'm going to show you how to play this major scale, and it's going to use your pinky 6 different times. Now, the whole point of using this major scale is it's the C major scale. Now, any song that's in the key of C, or any time you see a chord that's called a C major chord, a happy chord, you're going to be able to play this scale. Now, if that's just going over your head, remember at the end of every single video, I link a theory playlist and a practical playlist. So if you want to know more theory or you want to know more practical, just head to either of those. But basically, at the end of this track, there's going to be a little bit of a backing track that you can solo over, and you can use this exact scale to practice your soloing. So it'll just put all of these techniques in. So first, come up on the 6th string, 2nd finger onto the 8th fret. Then pinky on the 10th fret, same string. Drop down a string and use your 1st finger on the 7th fret, 2nd finger on the 8th, and pinky on the 10th. If you have worked out already, we're in the 7th position. Drop down a string, we're almost halfway there. Use your 1st finger on the 7th, 3rd finger on the 9th, and pinky on the 10th. And we are now halfway there. And the whole idea is you're using your pinky. Brilliant. Keep going. So let's play that pinky again. So pinky, 10th fret on the 4th string. Drop down a string. Use your 1st finger on the 7th. 3rd finger on the 9th. Pinky on the 10th. Drop down a string. 2nd finger on the 8th. Pinky on the 10th. Drop down a string, 1st finger on the 7th, and 2nd finger on the 8th. Now, even though that's a scale, if you want to get a lot of, a big sort of workout for your pinky, you can use your pinky on the 10th fret, and it continues on. But it actually finishes on the 8th fret. So the whole thing. And if you want more, pinky on the 10th. Great job. Now you might be thinking, that sounds pretty boring. The more you sort of practice that scale and just becomes sort of ingrained in you, and you can play it over tracks, the more interesting it gets. Now, the amazing thing about this scale is it's a C major scale because we're starting with our 2nd finger on the 8th fret. If you were to take that entire scale and move it back to the 3rd fret on the 6th string, the first note that you're starting with on your 2nd finger is a G note, so now it's a G major scale. So you now know every single major scale that there is. Well done. So diving right on in to tip number 4. Tip number 4, now remember, we're always building with everything that we do in this video and everything on this channel. Tip number 4 is to take that scale that you've just learned, but to only use your pinky. Now, I know that seems crazy and it seems ridiculous, and it is, so you're right, so well done there. So the idea is that you're using your pinky for every single note, so it's really just a focus on your pinky strength. So you would play the exact same scale that you just did, but with your pinky. Now that's quite tricky to do, so what I would suggest is just think about one different string and try and solo using that one string. But you're getting such a great workout on your pinky there, and only have your pinky held down. Don't use your other fingers. Keep them all sort of close to each other so you're in a position, but don't hold the other fingers on the string. Just use your pinky. Now you're ready for the hardest tip of all, tip number 5. All right, so idea number 3. So what this is it's all about bending. Might be a little bit tricky, stick to the first two if it's too hard, but let's dive in anyway. So the idea here is that you go to the first string, and let's say you're gonna be in position 7. So what that means is your first finger is gonna be on the 7th fret, second finger is gonna be on the 8th, third finger is gonna be on the 9th, pinky's gonna be on the 10th. So always, so you're in that 7th position. Now what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna play the 7th fret on the first string. Okay, now that is a B note. Now what you're going to want to do is play the B note, let it ring, let your ears sort of listen to that B note, get locked into that B note. Now before you do anything else, you hop up a string and you can put as many fingers as you want, that's absolutely fine, on the next string, but you're in that 7th position. So that means your pinky is on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. Now as soon as you play that note on the 5th fret of the first string, you're gonna jump up a string, so your pinky's on the 10th fret of the 2nd string, and you're gonna bend up until you hear that B note. Now the reason why, you can find B notes everywhere, all over the guitar, but the reason why I'm showing you this is it's a good idea because you get used to playing in positions, and you don't have to sort of move and then come back and worry about bending. You play that 5th fret, you're already in the position, let it ring as long as you can, and then bend up from the 10th fret on the 2nd string with your pinky. Now, if you're unsure if you're bending in tune, always make sure your guitar is tuned up, but also maybe you can have a little guitar app sort of on, like a tuning app, like there's a guitar tuner, spelled T-U-N-A. I'm not endorsed or sponsored, I just think it's a cool little tuning app and it uses the microphone on your phone. I'm sure there's other ones out there, but then you can sort of see, all right, is my bend in tune? Now, bending with your pinky is quite hard, and you might notice that not a lot of guitarists, especially like the older sort of guitarists, seem to do it for some reason, and I have no idea why. That's just sort of what I've seen in my playing, but I highly recommend it. It's great for exercise, like for your pinky. And it just gets you a slightly different sound because once you played that pinky, you're just in a slightly different position than if you were bending with your third finger. So give that a go. Okay, so we've got a little bit of music on in the background, and the idea now is take those 5 different things that you've learned and try and combine them all in a solo when you can. Now, that may be right now. You might be ready for it right now. That might be meaning sort of saving or remembering this video or copying the link at the top, coming back to it. Doesn't matter, whenever you're ready. But just have fun and try and always, when you're learning new techniques, make them musical. Put it all together. I'm gonna show you a quick solo of mine, and then that's it. At the end of the video, there's gonna be a theory video linked here and a practical video linked here. Check out those playlists if you wanna learn more. Otherwise, I'll take it out with a solo. I'll see you all again very soon.